happening, sports fans? Trent the Great back in the building, man, and I'm here to talk about a young man who is changing the game, and his name is Rich Paul. He is the founder of Clutch Sports, and he has a number of prominent players under his banner, such as Ben Simmons, Anthony Davis, Drew Bledsoe, and his most famous client, LeBron James. Now, actually, Rich Paul and LeBron James are good friends. And the story goes that they met some time back where after high school, Rich Paul was selling throwback jerseys out of the trunk of his car. You know, I wonder if he was selling a little more out of the trunk of his car, but that's for another day. Anyway, they said LeBron liked his hustle. They exchanged numbers and became good friends right after that. Maybe a year or so later, LeBron winds up getting drafted. Well, the story goes that LeBron signed with this cat named Leon Rose. He's a high-powered sports agent, and I think he's an attorney. And Leon Rose took Rich Paul up on his wing and taught him the game. Well, Rich Paul learned everything he could, and in 2012, he bounced and said, "See ya." You know what I'm saying? That's when he started Clutch Sports. Now, throughout the years, you know, like I said, Rich Paul has signed to a host of players, and he has really started to develop himself as a big time guy in sports and marketing. You know, fast forward to today, now he's signed up with a Hollywood firm agency called United Talent Agency, who represents a who's who in Hollywood, such as Kevin Hart, Little Short Ass, Chris Pratt from the Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy fame, Angelina Jolie, Brad Pitt old gal, and Tiffany Haddish fine ass. She ain't really funny in stand-up, but she fine and funny. Anyway, she funny in movies and TV shows and shit like that, man. With stand-up, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, and it's a host of others that they represent. Well, as this story kind of broke, this is a big time thing because United Talent Agency was more for Hollywood and entertainment, but they branching off now and want to do it in the sports division, as I just said. But the key thing about that is they now own a piece of Clutch Sports, but nobody will say from UTA side or Rich Paul side exactly how much that is. Now the problem, I ain't gonna say it's a problem, but I'm seeing something maybe a little slick about that. And this is something that a lot of people do. They'll build the company up and build the company up and build the company up, just like Bob Johnson did with BET. On BET for years, built it up, and then as soon as somebody came along, as soon as them Jews or them what you call them, what they call them, I forget the name of it, man. Well, anyway, when they come along, bam, you sell it for so many dollars. That's what it's starting to look like what Rich Paul is about to do. Because you're giving up a stake in your company that you own 100%. Now, don't get me wrong. They might say, hey, we want about 5-10%. But that 5 or 10% could go a long way in the hundreds of millions of dollars. But the question is, how much control do they have? Rich Paul says that, well, everything gonna stay the same. Well, anytime anybody who knows anything about business and you've done any kind of business with anybody, especially people on the outside that you don't know, you know shit don't never stay the same. You know what I'm saying, Rich Paul? Good luck to your brother on that. Now, like I say, Rich Paul, he's doing his thing, and of course LeBron is doing his thing, but nobody thinks that Rich Paul is really he's really the owner, or he's really the man behind Clutch Sports. Everybody thinks that LeBron is the man behind and is Clutch Sports, because a lot of the moves that Rich Paul and Clutch Sports are making seem to benefit LeBron James and LeBron James' brand. Now, what else? Let me see. Well, like I say, they benefit LeBron, but a lot of these moves have ruffled a lot of fellas in the league. One key move that ruffled a lot of fellas was last summer's Anthony Davis trade from New Orleans. Allegedly he walked in last summer to the New Orleans front office and demanded a trade. Well, they said, "Now hold up, let's just play the season. Let's just see how it go, and you're gonna want to stay, get you some of this old Cajun rice and all that, and then you'll be all right." It didn't work like that, so that's when he kind of put the pressure on the front office, like, "Hey, I want to be traded now." A lot of people feel like that was Rich Paul and the way he works. You know what I'm saying? Another thing, recently, you had a cat named Marcus Morris, who has a twin brother. He plays in the league too. I think they're identical twins. And he just reneged on a 2-year deal for $20 million to sign with the Spurs, to take a one-year deal to sign with the Knicks for $15 million. So I mean, $5 million. He dropped $5 million. I mean, actually like a good deal. Like, well, I could drop $5 million and I can go over here and sign for 15. I don't know. I don't really know how that works. I know you're losing $5 million. I ain't never had it. Hope to have it one day. But like I say, man, brother's making a lot of moves, but he's also seemingly making some enemies. He seems to go the untraditional route, where you look to make long-term relationships and deals. Long-term relationships to make better deals with the owners of these sports teams than more so with the players. And he seems to be like having better relationships with the players than with the owners. Well, it's kind of like a give and take. Like, the players are going to play for 10, 15 years. The owners are going to own these places for 30 years or more. Maybe something around there. So, is it a good move? Only time will tell, because this is kind of, I'm not going to say it's one of a kind, because Rob Pelinka was a son bitch. Drew Rosenhaus is a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But here's the key about them two cats. They both white and they probably Jewish. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to the Jews. I don't want no problem with them. But I'm just saying they seem, of course, so now let's get into the race thing. Rich Paul is a young brother. I think he's only like 37. You know what I'm saying? If my math is right. But he's a young brother who's making all kind of moves. And he's not really, it's not in the traditional sense, because he's upsetting not only white agents, but also black sports agents, because they feel like, hey, he's taking our players, or, and he's taking their players too. But he's doing it in a very non-traditional way. This thing, it gets tricky, because you see people now, they're saying, well, is he bad for the league? Is him and LeBron bad for the league? Are they in cahoots? And it's always like, why is it that these young brothers got to be put on blast like this? You know what I'm saying? But for me, I could see it like, well, nobody's really done it like this. Sure, you had other black sports agents, but they worked more probably with the white agents, and probably, and it's no disrespect to them, but they probably kind of bent to their will. You know what I'm saying? Like, the white agents say, "Look here, boy, I want that agent." "Yes, sir, master." Nah, it's just some of them Uncle Tom niggas. You know what I'm saying? But I don't even know really none of the other black agents. I just know Rob Pelinka snake ass. And Drew Rosenhaus, who was a summer gun, like I said. But Rich Paul is quickly becoming up there, if not becoming higher than them guys. You know what I'm saying? He's really making some moves. This signing with United Talent Agency is a major move because now you're gonna see a lot more probably brothers and sisters working at that firm than you probably normally would. You know, because I know from what I think I kind of read, United Talent Agency is wanted to get in the sports side of things now because I think one of their competitors is in there, got into that, and of course the numbers show that, hey, well look, this is where everything is trending. This is where the youth are spending their money, and everybody loves basketball, you know. And it's such a family-oriented game that it really coincides with, like, going to the movies. You know, you could take your family to an NBA game. You know, you don't really just take your family to an NFL game because you see somebody get busted up. You don't see a lot of families at the NBA game. At the NFL game. You see more families at the NBA game, just like you see more families at going to the movies and stuff like that. So it's a smart move. It's a smart move on both sides. I can't blame them. I just want to know the numbers. I want to know what percentage he gave up, and I want to know how much they gave him. Because when I first heard it, I was like, man, my man sold out to them crackers. You know what I'm saying? God damn, man. Then I started thinking, let's just say that United Talent Agency makes about $3 billion a year, right? And they give him 10%. That's $300 million. You know what I'm saying? My math is right now. I told y'all I went to Rice, and so don't hold that against me. But no, it's gonna be a hell of a thing, man. But like I said, man, we gonna wait and we gonna see how this shake out, and we'll know something. We'll see how this thing goes in the next few years. He might even own United Talent Agency in about 10 years or so, the way this brother going. But yeah, that's my sport-ish news of the day. I'm Trent the Great, man. Want to drop that gem on y'all. And man, like I say, it's hot out here, man. I'm finna get on this boat, and jump off into this water and see what it do, man. I'm Trent the Great. Once again, peace, and I'm out. One.